Hey guys, it's Ed from Ed's Mods. Today we're going to be replacing the oil on this 2009 Honda Civic LX. Alright, so this is the oil I'm using. Mobile 1 full synthetic oil. And for that you're going to need a synthetic oil filter. I went with the Fram. I just like the grip on it. It's easier to remove. The model number on that, or the product number, is XG7317. And the oil, I went with the 0 weight 20. And it's Mobile 1, as I said. Alright guys, so this is the motor here. This is the 1.8, and the first thing we're going to do is remove the cap and make sure you have no dust around here that can go in there. It's actually a good idea to just leave the cap kind of on there like that so you don't have any dust fly in there or dirt or whatever maybe around your engine bay. And to jack up the car, as you can see down there, there is an arrow pointing at this big cross beam down there, so you can put your jack and position it right underneath that big cross beam there, and you can lift the whole front end of the car with that. We're going to place your jack stands here. Alright, so with your catch pan ready to go, have mine down here, put it underneath, and you're going to remove this bolt here. On this particular Honda, it's a 17mm, so if it's on really tight, then you might need a breaker bar, like this one. That'll pop it loose. So with your catch pan right underneath, you just, and this is gonna get messy. Then you're just gonna let it drain all the way out. So this is the bolt. Should be replaced. There's also a washer with it. Alright, so with that draining and your pan's still below the car, you're going to move on to the oil filter, which sits here. And you're going to have to readjust your catch pan here, because this gets messy. Now sometimes you would need a tool to remove this depending on how tight it is. Or if it's really stuck, then you can stick a screwdriver through it. It's a little bit harder on this Honda. I have another video on it, on the way to do it with the screwdriver. Could apply to this as well. But this one, since I did it the last time, I made sure it wasn't ridiculously tight as they usually are. So, once you got it up to there, it's going to start spilling oil. Now, what I like to do with the new filter before I put it on is I like to pour a little bit of oil in here. And you don't have to do that, and I've had several people in the comments say that, why, or ask why I was doing that and it's not necessary. And maybe it's not, but it's just something that I do. I like to put a little bit of the new oil in here. And my reasoning behind it is, at the first crank of the motor, at least there's some oil already in the filter. It could be useless, but that's just something that I do. So at this point you can go ahead and reinstall the new oil filter back in place. Alright, so with most of the oil drained, we can go ahead and plug this back up. Now you should replace this bolt and the washer, but mine, the bolt is fine and the washer is fine. It's just a little bit stripped here, but it should be fine for at least one more time. But I recommend, or the owner's manual recommends you replace it every time. So I would if I was you. And then we can go ahead and start refilling the oil.
I believe it takes about 4 quarts, but you can always fill it up, check your dipstick, put some more if you need some, or if you really put too much, you can drain some out.
Get rid of this. Put your cap back on.
Next, we're going to turn on the car and make sure there are no leaks underneath the car. Then we go ahead and lift the car and remove the jack stands from underneath.
Okay, so once you've done your oil change, then you need to reset your oil life percentage here on your dash, where your odometer usually is. And to get to that, you toggle with this button here. It says SEL reset, and by pressing it, you can toggle between the different settings. And there you'll find your trip A, your trip B, and the third time is your oil life. When your oil gets below, I believe, 20%, this shows up every time you turn on the car. And that's just basically telling you you have 15% left for your oil life. So you want to reset that after you've done your oil change to remind you the next time. And usually these cars are pretty good at knowing when you need to do your oil change. Obviously, keep track of the miles you've driven, and I do that on my B setting. So 7,100 miles is what I went this time. But I do only highway. This car is only a commuter, so that's how I got that many miles on there. So to reset it, you press and hold this button for 10 seconds, and that resets obviously your trip B. But what I meant to do is on this screen, you press and hold for 10 seconds, and it'll start flashing like that. So then what you do is you press and hold for 5 seconds, and that sets your oil life back to 100%. So what I do is my trip B is my oil life. As you can see, this number here, that's I set it to 0, so I haven't ran any miles. And obviously your oil life is at 100% again. So the percentage will start dropping as you start putting miles on it. But that's how I keep track of it, and so you don't rely 100% on what Honda tells you to do. So make sure you always track your miles, or you can put that sticker on your windshield if you wanted to, or somewhere. So when you do your own oil change, you just have to remember when you did it, because you're not going to have somebody putting a sticker on your windshield. So that's how I do it. So your car is good to go. After you're done with this, and go ahead and drive it around and make sure there's no leaks coming from the bottom, and you should be good to go. So if you liked this video and you found it helpful, make sure you hit that subscribe button, and make sure you hit that like button, because that's what keeps me making these videos. Let me know if you like what you see, and if you want to change anything else or see anything else for me to do on this channel, then let me know in the comments below, and I will make sure I try to get it done for you. So I like to do these simple things that you can do at home and save you some money, instead of just having Jiffy Lube or whatever place do your oil change. You can do it yourself, and as you can see, it's pretty easy. So thank you for watching, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.